Hi, Susan.
Hi,
Good
how are
afternoon. How
you?
are you? Good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy that we get to have this conversation today because, Parker Place has such a rich history. But I also think this is going to be a wonderful opportunity to help a new generation of directors and producers and theaters discover your catalog of, I mean, so many fantastic comedies. And for anyone that's joining us for the first time, Parker Plays is the official home of the stage comedies written by Michael and Susan Parker. So let's get started, shall we?
All right, let's
Oh,
do it.
I'm wonderful. So I really want you to tell me the story. How did Parker Plays begin? Was there a moment, tell me the story.
Okay, all right. Well, we have to go back in time,
Yeah.
uh, back into the late 1990s, before I even knew Michael Parker. He was acting on stage, doing comedies in Florida, um, and he asked the director, why don't you ever do a farce, And the director's like, oh my gosh, no way. They are too British. No one here would understand them. Why don't you being a Brit living here in America, why don't you write a farce for American audiences? And Michael, not one to back down from a challenge, said, all right, gonna do it. So he took paper to and pen, and because he was not computer doing the
Right.
computer thing, it was
Yeah.
all on paper. Uh,
Wow.
and he worked hard, wrote his first play, The Sensuous Senator, and they produced it on stage to great applause. And that encouraged him to do more and more.
Mhm.
I mean, he did The Amorous Ambassador, Hotbed Hotel came next, and that's how it all got started. So,
And then, at one point, he must have realized like he's not just writing one play, right? It became a catalog of plays,
it did.
um, right? And then I believe Samuel French
Oh,
became
yes,
interested, right? So all of a
right.
sudden he had a publishing deal.
He did. He figured out that audiences loved his shows.
Hmm.
And he was having good success getting them on stage in
Hmm.
different places. So he decided he'd knock on Samuel French's door.
Hmm.
And that takes a long time and that takes a lot of tenacity
Right.
because there's a lot of playwrights out there, good
Hmm.
playwrights, trying to
Hmm.
get their work published.
Right.
But he kept at it. He did not give up. They finally read the play. The president of the company actually called him and said, these are great. Do you have any more?
I
So
love that.
off they went. And the first three or four that he had, they contracted and they said, keep writing. So that's kind of how it all started with
That's awesome. So,
the whole Parker Play thing started.
right. So I'm dying to know your meet cute story. How did you and Michael meet?
Ah. Well, I auditioned for the show, The Sensuous Senator, in my hometown of Racine, where he was actually directing. And I can tell you that sitting in auditions, I'm I'm sitting up in the back and I'm thinking, I don't think he knows I'm here. Everybody else is going up on stage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there for 2 hours. I'm not called down. I'm thinking, oh, great. Well, come to find out that he was thinking, he looked up, he said he saw me, and he's like, I hope she can act. So he held me off for the last, till one of the last people. And so I auditioned, no big deal, went back, was teaching summer school at the time, got a phone call, and I got a role. Fiona, who happens to be the high class call girl in this show. I'm teaching,
Nice.
yeah, I'm teaching third grade thinking, how am I, a teacher, going to explain being on stage as a call girl? But I did it anyway. So
Yes, I love it.
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of how we met. And we kept in contact over the years. And then uh he asked me to be in Who's in Bed with the Butler? It was the world premiere. And from there, the relationship just grew.
And love blossomed, and you
Yeah,
got married, and you became his writing partner. So how did that
I
happen?
did. How sort of surprised, just out of the blue. Would come home from teaching one day and he goes, "Hey, I got an idea." And of course, his British accent, which I couldn't do.
Right.
Um, and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "How about you co-write with me? How does that sound?" And I'm like, "Sure, great. Oh, that sounds like fun." Little did I know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
So,
What was the first play you wrote together?
oh, Sin, Sex, and the CIA. So
Right, right.
that was the start of it all.
That was the first one. What is that? What is that play about? Tell me the
Oh
plot.
my
What's the synopsis?
gosh. Well, I mean, basic plot could be today, because it was about a meeting between the US
Hmm.
and OPEC, the oil cartel,
Right.
and getting oil. I mean, sound familiar today?
It does.
But it does sound rather boring, if I just say it like that.
Right, right.
So, what makes it fun are the characters.
Huh.
Okay, we wrote larger than life personalities and characters, a TV evangelist, a Secretary of State who is extremely passionate, a bumbling CIA agent,
Mhm.
an over the top Marine. I mean, you name it, they're in it. And that kind of drove the plot. That
Right,
drove the laughter because of their over the top personalities.
right, right. I love it. I love it. So, I mean, when you were writing with Michael, what did you guys love about working together, about writing comedy together? Like, what were the things that
Oh,
you really loved the most about it?
well, being together,
Mhm.
creating something that we knew people were going to be laughing at, you
Mhm.
know, being creative together, that was most important.
Mhm.
It it was like Michael had written what, 7 plays prior to me, pre-Sue, you know, and it was great. I came up with ideas because he said, "Oh my gosh, I I can write, but I'm coming out. I mean, I don't have the ideas anymore." So I came with ideas with no knowledge of how to write a
Oh,
play.
right,
I
like
wrote like I
dialogue.
talk, we using 1,000 words, and he
Mhm.
said, "You can't
Mhm.
do that."
So he really
So
helped, he actually helped you learn how to be a playwright. Taught you how
he
to write
he did. He
dialogue
became my
and
mentor. Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
absolutely.
And as we were learning, we would pull each other along.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is if I was struggling with something, he would go, "Come on, what are you thinking? What do you think
Mhm.
this character would say or do?" Um, and vice versa. Where are we going to go next? And I would say, "Well, hey, how about this?"
Oh,
And
so you
so
guys would
we,
riff off of each other. That's awesome.
right,
That's
right.
that's what the best partnerships do, right? You
So
had that freedom to kind of explore that way. That's awesome. But how did you do this and manage to stay married? Did you guys fight a lot when you were writing, or was it really amicable?
no, no, we kind of made a pact at the very beginning that because that could happen,
Yeah,
I want it my way, I want it my way,
yeah,
and nothing gets done. So
yeah.
we said, unless we both agree to what's going to go on
Mhm.
in this play, or even the dialogue for the most
Right.
part, it's not going to happen. we're not going with your idea,
Right.
just my idea. We have to
Hmm.
both agree to
Hmm.
it. And I think that really was the glue that held everything together, you know,
Right.
that
Right.
knowledge. So yeah,
And so
that
you guys are so the both of you, the catalog is now 15 plays?
yes,
Yes. And
yes.
so obviously there was a big turning point in the partnership, a sad one, obviously. Michael passed
Hmm.
and the torch was handed to you to really move Parker Place into a next phase and you're leading the company, leading the work now, right? And I'm so excited and so honored to be able to work with you because I'm seeing your plays being produced across the country, around the world, and people are just really, really responding and loving that experience. But you're doing all the hard work, Sue, and that's a big deal, because you've become an expert in comedy and farce. You're out there as a voice of this genre, and it's an important one. And one thing I've heard you say before that I really love is that the way you write, it's not just a one joke over 2 hours.
Hmm.
You have you have this term that you use called a sidewinder. Can you explain that? Because I think it's so smart. I love it.
Oh, well, we truly believed that you could not run with one idea, one
Hmm.
concept for two
Right,
hours.
right,
Everybody's going to get bored, you
right.
know? Um, so we decided, or Michael did back
Hmm.
in the day, and we kept going with it, that we had to have those sidewinders,
Hmm.
okay? And basically what they are just a secondary storyline.
Hmm.
They're a twist, a comic twist that keeps the audience engaged. And it draws in the rest of the actors because they're all part of that sidewinder, you know? So they have, although it's an ensemble cast, they have their moment in the sun,
Right,
where
right, right, right.
their mini plot
Mhm.
kind of takes
Nice,
over.
nice,
So
nice.
that's what makes it fun. But
Right.
it also makes it crazy as a playwright because you're trying to figure out, where did I leave this person? When are they coming in? What is their storyline? And how is it still meshing in with the rest of the plot? So
When you and Mike were writing, did you have like a big board? Did you use cards or anything? Like, how did you plot out did you like use any sort of techniques to like make sure you weren't like the storylines were making sense, or did you just work on paper?
we just worked on paper.
Wow, that's
We
amazing.
just worked on paper.
That's amazing.
I really did try to pull Michael into the, 21st century with,
Some
with a
sort of
computer,
computer,
but he's
a
like,
typewriter.
I'll use it as a typewriter. Yeah,
Yeah,
But in the
exactly.
meantime, here we are.
Exactly.
We've got our yellow pad of paper,
Uh-huh.
and we're writing out like a plot line. We have the set drawing, very,
Uh-huh.
very important in front of us. That was once we knew what we were doing, the what the location was going to
Mhm.
be, what the set was going to be. We drew a set drawing with all the doors that come with
Oh,
a
that's
farce
of course.
because you've got, well, six characters on stage going in and out of doors, and you've got to remember, well, they're going to come in here, they're going to go out here. I can't have, they just went out that door. They've got to come back in that door now. So I can't tell you how many times we asked, where did we leave that person?
Uh, that's a really good insight. When you're as a writer of comedy, the set is actually a character. Like you have to actually introduce the set in the process of writing. That's
Yes.
that's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely true. I'm curious of your opinion. What does a good farce or comedy need besides jokes, right? What other things do you feel like that your comedies have besides jokes?
Well, for us, it really was it for comedy, it became a visual. There needed to be a visual comedy. There needed to be some physical comedy. And there
Hmm.
needed to be some circumstantial comedy, you
Hmm.
know. And because of that, because those visual, the circumstance, the physical was there,
Hmm.
we needed the actors to play it like it was Shakespeare's drama or it became nonsense. Once, you know,
Right.
so even if they were larger than life characters, they
Hmm.
still had to play it like they were very real people and they really felt what was going on.
Hmm.
So,
That's
and that made the comedy even funnier.
yeah, that's the secret to great comedies. The actors truly believe that they're not in a comedy, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly, exactly. One thing I keep seeing, as we're working together is that directors and producers aren't just like looking for something funny, right? Why do you think Parker Plays have connected so strongly with especially community theaters and dinner theaters and even regional theaters? Why do you think they're doing so well?
Um, I think that laughter is great, applause is great, but it doesn't balance the budget. A
Hmm.
theater director, producer has to be able to make sure that they can run that theater.
Hmm.
And our plays provide both. They provide the laughter, but they also are set through the written kind of through the lens of how many people in a cast, okay? We can't go overboard. How budget friendly is it going to be to produce this? Um, is it marketable? Are the concepts marketable? Can we draw people into the theater? Um, those are just a few of the things that we think about when we're writing
Yeah,
a
yeah.
poem, you
Or
know,
with
and the fact that our belief is that you can have fun on stage, you can even have a few innuendos on stage. Your title might have the word sex
for
in them,
sure.
but there is nothing offensive. You cannot offend an audience.
For sure,
So,
for sure.
and I think that's what we bring to the table for directors and producers.
I have to pull this quote from Thorold Community Theater. They said, "We are tickled to announce that we had another sold out show of Money Matters last night. If the laughs from the audience were any indication of how the show went, bazing! Sunday's matinee saw the house packed to the rafters." So that's one of so many, many, many theaters that
Hmm.
love to write to you to tell you how well the shows are doing. And we're at a time in the world right now where I work with a lot of theaters, and everybody says no question about it. People want to go to the theater to escape, and people want to go to the theater and they want to laugh.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where we are in the country. It's like just going somewhere and being able to be together and being able to just all laugh at the same thing is so important. And
Hmm.
and programming comedies right now is critical to a lot of theater successes. And so I've seen that a lot of theaters come back again and again. They produce multiple Parker plays.
Oh, they
Is
do.
that the case?
They do. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I have a couple theaters right now that are for the next season. They've scheduled two Parker plays, you know? Wow. I'm like,
That's
more laughter,
phenomenal,
more laughter. And
right?
so I would say that we get a lot of repeat customers with theaters. I
Yeah.
get a lot of theaters that, I won't hear from them for a year or two, and then, hi, we're back, you know?
Yep. Gosh, a perfect season would be like two Agatha Christie's and two Parker plays.
Oh, yay.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So, one of the things too is like, I think I've read that a lot of the directors have said to you that the actors actually love playing the roles
Oh,
in
yeah.
your plays. And so I would love, like, can you tell me about a couple of the roles that kind of stand out to you? There are so many, but I'm just curious, what are a couple of the roles that really kind of are close to your heart?
Oh, gosh. You're right. There are a lot of them. And um, well, for the guys, a lot of them love the role of Vinny. Vinny in Love Lies in the Doctor's Dilemma.
Huh?
He is a mobster.
Huh? Oh.
Okay. But he's funny and
Hmm.
he's emotional and he wants to get out of being a mobster. And it just, he's got this gun named Bertha, and so and he's always patting Bertha. And, and there's a lot of humor in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Another one would be Charmaine in Sex Please for 60.
Hmm.
She is a Southern belle and they love the lines. They love, you know, oh, what was one? I don't know if I can say this, but I will. You can edit it if you need to.
Go
Uh,
for it.
his ass is grass and I'm the lawnmower, and or, she fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, bless her heart. I mean, she just
I
has
love it.
tons of these Southern lines that audiences relate to
Oh,
and that the actresses just adore portraying.
yeah, I
They
love it.
they run with it. Um, oh,
Well,
another
you
one
go
is
ahead.
Detective Davis. He's in two shows, but the one is in Who's in Bed with the Butler, and he grew up on malapropisms. So, and he is just the goofiest guy, and every word that comes out of his mouth makes no sense. Um, that's another endearing character.
That's fun. Well, you just mentioned Sex Please We're 60, and that's your hit. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that is licensed hands down more than any of your other titles right now and
Hmm.
worldwide. I mean, it's been done in many languages, right?
Yes, it has.
Yeah. And there's also a musical version,
There
so
is.
which is very fun and exciting. Why do you think that show is your most popular?
Well, I think that it's very relatable.
Hmm.
Very relatable, especially because a lot of the audiences and in community theater that we have dealt with are a little bit more mature.
Hmm.
Okay.
They're seasoned.
Yes, they're wise.
Hmm.
And the play is kind of about menopause. It's
Hmm.
about strong women, kind of taking charge when the men think, oh, we're going to pull one over on the women, and the women reverse that. Um, it's about the audience members sitting there with the wife elbowing the husband. See, that's what it's like. That's what
Nice.
menopause is like. So,
Yep.
um, and it just creates laughter. It creates laughter, excuse
Yep.
me, sorry. It creates laughter in the theater. And
Yep.
from the start of the play to the end of it,
Yep.
audiences are laughing and they can relate to it.
Right. Absolutely. And, we just talked a little bit earlier about like, it's so important that we are bringing laughter to the world right now. And it's different experiencing it live versus sitting on your couch, right?
Mhm.
What is your opinion on that? Like, why do you think it's so important for people to get up and get out of their house and experience theater?
Well, I guess it's because I feel that today we are becoming more and more isolated.
Hmm.
Social media, it's funny, you use the word
Hmm.
social,
Hmm.
but it's an individual thing. How many
Right.
people are sitting on the phone looking at videos? They're not, I've seen it at dinner where two couples are sitting and they're both on their phones. Um, so I think seeing comedy at home means I'm sitting here and I might chuckle a little bit and I'm checking my phone and I'm not really engaged in it all that much. But when you're in an audience in a theater and your phone has to go off,
Right.
and you see other people experiencing the same laughter that you're feeling, there's something cathartic about that. There's something unifying about that. Um, and there's something about the stage that, because it's live, you can really relate to if you relate to the characters.
Mm,
You
yeah.
may not have, or the situation, you may have been in that situation and you see other people going, they're laughing too. I wonder if they've experienced this. I don't think you get that at home.
Right, for sure, for sure. And you've been able to visit some theaters around the country and actually see your plays produced. And what does it feel like when you're like sitting there and you see like a room full of people laughing? What does that must I'm not a playwright, so what does that feel like?
It's it's the greatest pat on the back that you can get.
Yeah,
Because for me, for Michael, when he was going to theaters too, it was, if they're not laughing, we haven't done our job. But when you hear the huge laughter that comes out of people, the guffaws, the tears rolling down their faces practically, you've done what you set out to do, which was to create 2 hours of laughter so that when they leave the theater, they're feeling maybe a little lighter than they did before they walked in, because we never know what problems are going on in somebody's world.
right.
As a matter of fact, one of the greatest stories I can remember is, I don't even know where we were, but we were visiting a theater. And afterwards, this little old lady walks up to me, just this little sweetie. And she goes, I want to thank you. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. She goes, no, no, no. I was forced to come here by my friends. I didn't want to. My husband died 6 months ago, and I have just been in the dumps, you know. And
Um,
this is the first time I've laughed. I still get tears in
oh
my
my
eyes.
gosh,
She goes, so
power
thank
of
you for the
theater.
laughter. So I
That's
was
why we
just
do
like,
what we do. That's why we do this. That's
yes,
that feeling lasts for years. I know,
yeah.
right? It's amazing. I love it.
Laughter is the best medicine.
It really is. It really truly is. And you gave that gift to her. Wow. And that's probably times 1,000. You don't even know all the people that probably had that same experience because you weren't
I
there for
wasn't
them to tell
there.
you. But that's
Yeah.
beautiful. And if you have that experience, feel free to send Sue an email. So listen,
Absolutely.
right. So listen, let's talk about some like some of the let's
Mm,
get down to the brass tacks here. So if a director or producer
mhm.
is starting to look at Parker Place, because there are 15 of them, right?
Yes.
You are wrapped by Concord. Samuel French was purchased by Concord a few years ago, so now
Hmm.
you're with Concord Theatricals.
Yes.
What do you want them to know? Like, where should they start? Like, what
Oh,
can they expect when they're kind of perusing the scripts and looking at the website at the plays?
well, I would say the best place to start, if you don't know us at all, is on our website. Okay. Um, with the help of a brilliant marketing team. Yes. We have created a website that is director and producer friendly, right? It has a resource page for directors and producers to for with many, many questions answered as to what Parker Play provides, what they need to look for when they're thinking about doing this type of a comedy. We also have a resource guide, quick resource guide of the 15 plays. Um, that kind of gives a quick synopsis overview of what each play is about, how many are in the cast, how long it runs,
Mm.
what is the setting. We have ideas about what season our plays might fit in for you. Then we have the individual play pages, and those give more information. They also um, provide licensing information, how to get to Concord Theatricals, where all the plays are licensed. And then there's a lot of contact, buttons to click because I want to hear from them. If there's any kind of problems at all, they're not alone navigating this. Okay. I
Oh,
am here to support. And so are the scripts. The individual scripts provide um, support suggestions on how to do some of the physical activities, how to set up maybe a set for a special, you know, visual that might be occurring on stage. Um, these are suggestions. I would never tell a director or producer what to do. That's their license. That's their
right,
creative bent.
right.
But I'm here now to support them in any way that I can, even if it's marketing.
Yes,
Got some
nobody,
marketing
it,
stuff too.
absolutely, absolutely. If they need resources or key art or logos, all that stuff is available at Parker Place for sure.
Yes.
Um, you know, Michael was absolutely such a, he is the core of the story of Parker Place. But, today, you're the one carrying the catalog forward and
Mhm.
helping theaters discover and maybe even rediscover the plays. Perhaps that one was done 10 years ago and it's still valid and exciting to revisit them.
Yes.
How are you feeling about your role now? Like, how have you been feeling lately?
Um, like it's a great responsibility, actually.
Mm-mm.
You know, um, Together we've created a legacy of laughter,
Oh, I love
that I
that.
hope will go on for many, many years. Um, and yes, it is my responsibility to get that information out there, um, to help theaters be introduced to the laughter that a Parker play can produce for their theater. And I'm excited to do it. Um, I've had a lot of need for help in learning how to do it in this modern age.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you very much. Um, but yeah, I want to share the laughter. And I just 100% could guarantee that's what's going to happen for a theater who does a Parker play. They would not
Oh,
be disappointed.
oh, that's no question, no question. Susan, this has been so wonderful. I think it's so clear that Parker Plays is not just like some scripts sitting on a shelf or that you're like hoping to get published someday. You are a working playwright. You are being produced all over the world. And these are living and breathing comedies that are being produced, and you bring actors and directors and communities together with these wonderful, wonderful characters and these stories and these wacky plot lines. And if anybody loves situation comedy on television, you're going to love situation comedy on your stages.
Yes.
So for directors and producers, again, if you're curious and you want to look at any of the plays, please go to the website parker-plays.com and explore the catalog. Reach out to Susan and have a conversation. And again, thank you so much, Susan, for talking with me.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed it. I hope that directors and producers will ring my doorbell or whatever it is that you do on the computer.
Tap on that computer. Awesome. Well,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm looking forward to talking to you next month.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Sue.
Okay.